This place is known for the Kumano Kodo, a trail running through spiritual mountains, and the pagoda of Seiganto-ji temple, built beside a giant waterfall. Located in the western part of Japan, Wakayama Prefecture has been a place where people have coexisted with nature while nurturing their faith and livelihood. Its industries utilizing nature such as forestry and mandarin orange farming have also long histories here. And in the 20th century, this prefecture underwent internationalization in an unexpected way. Hi, I'm Ertuğrul, the owner of this channel. This time we explore Wakayama's mountain worship, traditional industries, internationalization in the 20th century, and the modern day allure. This is the story of Wakayama, where natural beauty fascinates people. Wakayama Prefecture has been a place of faith for people from ancient times, together with its rich natural environment. Particularly, the Kumano Kodo pilgrimage routes in the southern part of the prefecture holds a significant position. The origins of the Kumano Kodo trace back to ancient mountain worship. In traditional Japanese belief, mountains themselves were commonly regarded as deities, and such places held a special significance as pure lands. The Kumano region, including the Kumano Kodo, became one of these revered locations. Although the precise origins are unclear, around the mid-4th century, the three grand shrines of Kumano were established, and the Kumano Kodo functioned as a pilgrimage route to these shrines. Walking this route was not merely a journey, but was considered a spiritual act of self-reflection and purification amidst nature. The oldest document mentioning the Kumano Kodo is the Nihon Shoki, compiled in 720 AD, which describes Kumano as a site of nature worship. From the 9th century onwards, people from various social classes, including nobles, warriors, and commoners, visited the area. Interestingly, the three grand shrines of Kumano mentioned earlier enshrine paintings or statues of a three-legged crow. This figure represents Yatagarasu, a divine messenger appearing in Japan's founding mythology, and is revered as a guardian deity. Additionally, a noble from the 11th century, known as a master of kemari, a ritual similar to modern soccer, made over 50 pilgrimages to Kumano to pray for improvement in his kemari skills. This historical context is why the Japan Football Association's emblem features a three-legged crow today. Along their journey on the Kumano Kodo, pilgrims encounter numerous sacred sites, among which Seiganto-ji Temple and Nachi Falls are described as possessing breathtaking beauty. Seiganto-ji Temple is located at a crucial point on the route to one of the three shrines of Kumano. The temple, perched on a cliff, is deeply connected with the practice of Shugendo, a fusion of ancient Japanese mountain worship and Buddhist elements. Nachi Falls, visible from Seiganto-ji, is one of Japan's tallest waterfalls, with a height of 130 meters and a pool depth of 10 meters. The volume of water cascading down is said to be about 1 ton per second. This site has been a subject of many poems, with the deeply Wakayama-associated monk Saigyo leaving such a poem. As clouds disperse atop the lofty peak of Nachi, the moon ascends high, its light piercing through the waterfall's white threads. Thus, Seiganto-ji Temple and Nachi Falls serve as sites where the grandeur and sanctity of nature are deeply felt, offering spiritual experiences to those who travel the Kumano Kodo. Wakayama's natural allure extends not just to its mountains, but also to its seas. Particularly noteworthy is Shirahama Onsen, near Shirahama Beach. This hot spring is said to have been opened in the 7th century, boasting a history among the most distinguished in Japan. Despite Shirahama Onsen not belonging to any of Japan's volcanic belts and the absence of volcanoes in the vicinity, the fact that a hot spring emerged has been a long-standing mystery. However, recent investigations reveal that Shirahama Onsen is formed by hot seawater. The seawater gets dragged into the Earth's crust as it subducts beneath the Japanese archipelago from the Pacific, heated by the mantle, and then seeps out, lingering near the surface of Shirahama Beach. Moreover, off the coast of this beach lies Engit's Island. This island, measuring only 130 meters north to south, gets its name from a circular moon-shaped hole approximately 9 meters in diameter, formed by marine erosion. Due to the effects of wind and waves, erosion has been advancing in recent years, and approaching the island is prohibited for safety reasons. But even so, this natural sculptural beauty can be viewed from Shirahama beach, adding further allure for visitors. From the end of the 16th century, Japan was unified by the samurai clans, and during this period, Wakayama became known as the Kishu domain. This chapter explores the development of traditional industries that took advantage of nature's bounty in the Kishu domain from the 17th century onward. Wakayama Castle was constructed in 1585 by the order of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a prominent figure in Japanese history who ended the nation's warring period. This fortress was erected after the Toyotomi regime had subdued the Wakayama area towards the end of the warring states. Positioned along the Kinokawa River, the site was chosen for its strategic and economic importance. With the decline of the Toyotomi regime and the rise of the Tokugawa shogunate, Wakayama Castle embarked on a new chapter. The Tokugawa family, specifically the Kishu Tokugawa clan, assumed governance over the area. Beginning in 1621, the castle underwent systemic renovations and the surrounding town was expanded. This marked the commencement of industrial reforms in the Kishu domain, the current Wakayama region. One of the industries supported by the Kishu domain was forestry. Wakayama, with 3/4 of its area covered in forests, has been blessed with forest resources since ancient times. The locally produced timber, commonly referred to as Kishu material, is highly valued for residential use due to its beautiful color and durability. The heavy timber cut down in the mountains was transported using rivers and brought to the coastal estuaries of Wakayama. The coastal towns became harboring spots for shipping vessels, easing the transport of timber to the 2 major markets of Edo, present-day Tokyo, and Osaka. For instance, in 1861, timber shipped from one of the harbors near the Wakayama region reached the equivalent of 200,000 bundles of cedar planks over 3 years. Of this, 87% was sent to the capital, Edo, highlighting the indispensable role of Wakayama's forestry in Japan at that time. The next industry that benefited from this period was the mandarin orange industry. In Wakayama, forestry was flourishing in the mountains, but due to the lack of flat land, the harvest from the fields was small, and it is said that the lives of the farmers were poor. Therefore, Tokugawa Yorinobu, the first lord of the Kishu domain, toured his territory and encouraged industries suited to the local conditions of each area. In particular, in the Arita region, known for its warm climate, he promoted the cultivation of mandarin oranges, utilizing the land and developing mountain forests into terrace gardens for mandarin orange producing areas. The Kishu domain not only encouraged the cultivation of mandarin oranges, but also implemented protective policies, making it easier to do business in the western region of Japan. Wakayama's mandarins were eventually shipped to Edo, and in 1634, a record mentions that 6 tons of mandarins were shipped by boat to the capital, where their fine taste became well known and sold at high prices. Thus, Wakayama became renowned as Japan's leading mandarin orange producing area to this day. During the same period, the port town of Yuasa, located to the south of Wakayama Castle, saw the development of the soy sauce brewing industry. The origins of soy sauce date back to the mid-13th century when the Japanese Zen monk who traveled to China introduced a unique type of miso. During the process of making this miso, the people found out the water extracted from vegetables could be used to enhance the flavor of fish and vegetables. This is considered the beginning of soy sauce. By the 16th century, soy sauce production began in Yuasa, and in 1535, approximately 18,000 liters of soy sauce was shipped to Osaka. Thanks to the protection provided by the Kishu Tokugawa family and improvements in brewing techniques, the soy sauce industry in Yuasa flourished nationwide. Today, Yuasa still retains a landscape featuring townhouses with heavy tile roofs and delicate lattices, as well as storehouses with white plastered walls, all telling the tale of its former prosperity. Thus, during the Edo period, Wakayama achieved industrial development by taking advantage of its rich natural resources and geographical features. The forestry, orange cultivation, and soy sauce brewing industries have contributed greatly to the prosperity of Wakayama Prefecture to this day. In the late 19th century, the samurai era came to an end, and under the newly established Japanese government, the Kishu domain was renamed Wakayama Prefecture. During this period of change, Wakayama Prefecture became internationalized in an unexpected ways. This chapter explores how Wakayama Prefecture and its people influenced world history. The modern history of Wakayama began with an unexpected incident. In 1890, the flagship Ertuğrul of the fleet sent by Ottoman Empire, which ruled Turkey at that time, encountered a typhoon off the coast of Oshima Island in Wakayama Prefecture while returning home after a goodwill visit to Japan, leading to a shipwreck. This tragedy resulted in the loss of about 500 lives out of approximately 600 crew members. However, the residents of Oshima quickly engaged in the rescue operations for the shipwrecked Turkish sailors and took care of the survivors. The rescued Turkish men were later safely repatriated by the ships of the Imperial Japanese Navy, which became a significant topic of discussion within the Ottoman Empire. Many years later, during the Iran-Iraq War in 1985, Turkey dispatched a Turkish Airlines aircraft to rescue about 200 Japanese nationals stranded in Iraq. The Turkish government issued a statement, quote, "We have not forgotten the rescue of the sailors of the Ertuğrul. Thus, once we heard there were Japanese citizens in need of help, we went to their rescue." Thus, the Ertuğrul incident that occurred off the coast of Wakayama has had a significant impact on the relations between Japan and Turkey, symbolizing the friendly relationship between the two countries to this day. Meanwhile, in the late 19th century, as Japan's internationalization efforts intensified, many residents of Wakayama Prefecture migrated overseas. By the period leading up to the Second War, approximately 31,000 individuals from Wakayama Prefecture had relocated abroad, making it the sixth highest immigrant-producing prefecture in Japan. Many from Wakayama did not intend to permanently settle in their new countries, but aimed to work temporarily and send a significant portion of their earnings back to home. By the mid-1920s, these remittances were the highest in the country. For instance, in 1885, the first 22 people from Wakayama Prefecture moved to Hawaii, where they significantly improved local fishing methods. A 1924 survey by the Japanese consulate in Hawaii revealed that 38% of fishermen on the island of Oahu were from Wakayama Prefecture. Additionally, in the early 20th century, many individuals working in the fishing industry in British Columbia, Canada, were from Wakayama Prefecture as well, especially from the village of Miyo. Those who returned from Canada brought back Western lifestyles, and Miyo became known as American Village, a nickname stemming from the Japanese people's difficulty at that time in distinguishing between America and Canada. A building constructed in 1934 by a returnee from Canada in this area now serves as the Canadian Museum and has been registered as a National Heritage Site. However, when the Pacific War began in 1941, the people of Wakayama Prefecture were subjected to tremendous hardship. First, in the United States, about 100,000 Japanese Americans were interned in concentration camps, and those from Wakayama Prefecture were no exception. One of them, Henry Sugimoto, using the brush and paint he had brought into the camp and sheets as a substitute for canvas, depicted life in the internment camp, leaving behind valuable works. From November 1944 to the end of the war on August 15, 1945, it is said that there were over 200 air raids on Wakayama Prefecture by B-29 bombers of the US Air Force. Particularly, the incendiary bombings of Wakayama City, which began in the late of night July 9, 1945, was the most intense. The fires that continued until the next day reduced most of the city's center to ashes. This air raid resulted in approximately 1,200 deaths and the destruction of about 70% of the city area. Wakayama Castle suffered significant damage as well, with its main tower being burned down. Meanwhile, in the early 20th century, to prevent entry of foreign fleets into Osaka Bay, military facilities were constructed on the islands between Wakayama Prefecture and Awaji Island by the Imperial Japanese Army. One of these was a fortress established on Tomogashima Island. However, as the Pacific War shifted to air-based combat, the cannons built for naval defense were never used until the end of the war. The distinctive brick remains of this period still partially exist, exuding an atmosphere as if time has stopped. Being compared to the ancient castle Raptor from Ghibli's film Castle in the Sky, these remnants on Tomogashima have attracted attention on international websites. Although Wakayama's urban area was severely damaged by airlines, post-war reconstruction efforts were swift. This chapter describes the post-war reconstruction efforts in Wakayama, as well as the region's appeal and the challenges it faces in modern tourism. As a symbol of Wakayama's post-war reconstruction, Wakayama Castle stands out. In 1957, the reconstruction of Wakayama Castle began, with a total cost amounting to 120 million yen, approximately 47% of which was covered by donations from citizens. The following year saw the completion of a reinforced concrete main building that faithfully reproduced the appearance before its destruction. Additionally, within the castle's garden, a tea house named Ko-Shoan was built with donations from Konosuke Matsushita, the founder of Panasonic, who hailed from Wakayama City. Matsushita, who also contributed to restoring the Kaminarimon in Asakusa, demonstrates his deep dedication to cultural heritage. Now, let's take a look at the modern attractions of Wakayama Prefecture. Firstly, the coastal area of Shirahama Onsen has been developed as a beach resort, attracting numerous resort facilities. Among these, grand hotels such as Hotel Kawakyu, reminiscent of European palaces, have been established, enhancing its aspect as a luxury resort. Furthermore, by forming a sister beach partnership with the beach in Honolulu, Hawaii, Shirahama has come to be known as Japan's Hawaii. Next is Kumano Kodo. In 2004, this site was registered as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is the second instance of a road being designated as a World Heritage Site, following the pilgrimage routes of San Diego de Compostela in Spain. Moreover, with the improvement of English guidebooks and websites, the number of foreign overnight visitors to Tanabe City, located on the route of Kumano Kodo in Wakayama Prefecture, increased from about 1,200 in 2011 to about 44,000 in 2018, approximately 35 times. According to a survey, 72% of visitors cited local people as the charm of the Kumano Kodo, indicating that the operators and staff of lodging facilities contribute to the region's appeal. However, the surge in foreign tourists has led to issues such as overcrowding, bad manners, and even missing persons. Moving forward, it is essential to address these challenges while preserving the Kumano Kodo for many Japanese people, a sacred place for self-reflection and purification in nature, deeply rooted in the spiritual culture of the Japanese people through its history of over 1,500 years. And that is the history of Wakayama Prefecture. I think that the greatest charm of Wakayama lies not merely in its nature itself, but in the profound relationship between the people and nature. Starting from the ancient beliefs of Kumano Kodo through the Industrial Revolution of the modern era, to the promotion of tourism in contemporary times, Wakayama has shown various facets over the years. Yet, at its core, there has always been an attitude of coexistence with nature. Today, the region faces challenges, including over-tourism, and there is a need to find effective solutions. Wakayama's rich history and natural heritage will continue to enchant many people in the future. However, to preserve and nurture this legacy, the cooperation of the entire community and new initiatives are indispensable.